Hey everyone, it's Ailin here, back again for another Q&A video. I hope you've all been doing well since last week. I've been doing very well. I hope you enjoyed the video from last week and everything that we discussed. And I'm just so happy to be able to show up for you guys more now and just like get all your questions answered and continue on with the conversation of detoxification and helping you all heal, right? So I'm gonna just like jump right into the questions. I'll share my watermelon juice. Cheers. If any of you out there are drinking some juice right now, fruit juice, I've just been really loving the watermelon, and I've been telling all of you and all of our clients to utilize watermelon as much as possible because it's only here for a short amount of time, unfortunately. I wonder what part of the world has watermelon 100% of the time, because then I'd probably have to go to that place. I don't know if Hawaii is like that. That's where I want to live ideally, but yeah, I've just been loving it, and it's a good chance to just deflame the body, to alkalize, to hydrate. A lot of people are missing that hydration factor, especially when it comes to trying to get your kidneys to filter. Like I said in the last video, you don't really want to cut off liquids initially on your detox journey, or even in the middle of your detox journey. You know, like the first month or the first few months, really focus on hydration, because that's what your kidneys need, that's what your adrenals need, that's what all your organs and glands and tissues and systems need, is the hydration first. The solution, in order to remove acidic waste and remove toxicity and chemicals, neurotoxins, and you know, fungal loads and all of the above, especially the sulfur. So guys, utilize the fruit juices, but if you're experiencing detox symptoms too strong, know when to go back, know when to slow down, right? You know, sometimes, and I'll tell you this little thing, was in the beginning of my own detox journey, this was like so many years back, I was just obsessed with watermelon juice. Like, to me, it felt so nourishing. It was kind of like mother's milk, you know what I mean? If you know, I know that might sound a little strange to some of you, but if you've ever had like a favorite fruit or a favorite fruit juice drink that was like so like almost addicting, that's why I'm like, oh, mother's milk, you know, that was it for me with watermelon juice. So, but the thing is that I ran into a lot of detoxification symptoms, so I had to kind of like slow it down a little bit. So what I would do is I would like drink watermelon juice, and then right after that I'd pop like an olive in my mouth, or I'd pop like some, you know, I'd eat like some romaine leaves, or, you know, even a little bit of avocado or something, like a few like 10 or 20 minutes after my watermelon juice, because I was met with detox symptoms, and I was like, okay, I really love this juice, but I know it's gonna kick my butt, so let me slow it down before I get the chance. So, but this is because like I got to know my body. So whenever you start to detox, it can take some time to know your body, you know, to learn more about your body, to get into the swing of things, right? And yeah, just be patient with yourself. Be patient while you start to understand your body and how it works and how detox works. The first few months are rough for a different reason. It's a new lifestyle that you're experiencing, and you're learning a lot of new different things about yourself and detoxification and how the body works, right? And then the middle of your detox, that's like when intense detoxification symptoms start to come up, and like, ooh, things that you hadn't felt in for many years start to come back, right? Because the detox digs deeper into the tissue, right? And then towards the end, it's kind of like smooth sailing. You know, the last month or two right before you've healed your health issues is super easy, because at that point, if you've been like intolerant to any foods out there, or if, you know, like cooked foods used to give you pain, or proteins used to give you pain, or things like that, they don't anymore. And so it can be kind of easy to like slip up towards the end of your detox journey. But then it's very easy to go back into serious mode, especially you guys, if you know, I'm talking to the clients that have worked with me for like the past year or so, you guys know, you know, and I'm so happy that that you guys follow up with your consultations with me, because then, you know, I'm able to re-inspire you guys and let you know what are the last few things that you have to do in order to just get out of this, you know, just completely heal 100%. And so, yeah, it's been really interesting talking to you guys in the follow-ups, and you know, you guys show me, you guys teach me, and I teach you, and it's an equal exchange, and it's fantastic. And we you know, since I've been doing this for years, I've found even more methods through you guys, you know, like different detox tools that helps you in your different health issues. So yeah, it's very exciting stuff. And so I thought I'd just start the video with that, because I know a lot of you are struggling with that right now. So I wanted to just shed some light on that, okay? But yeah, I'm going to be discussing a few questions today, answering your questions. Thank you all to those who submit the questions. And if you do have a question that you want me to answer on this video, just leave it in the comment section down below. Okay, so the first question is, okay, hello Ailin. I know this is not what you're talking about today, but can you please tell me what are the symptoms of parasite infestation? Okay, this is a really good question, because I'll tell you this much, guys, most people in today's world have parasites. Because if you've ever had a pet, a dog or a cat, if you've ever touched soil, touched the ground, if you've ever kind of like moved around in the world just acting like a normal human being, then 9 times out of 10 you have parasites. But especially for the people that have eaten raw sushi, like, you know, raw sushi, or especially for people that have eaten meat in excess, or even meat in general, this is why 9 out of 10 people have parasites in their bodies. So the symptoms of parasite infestation, and you know, most people have parasites meaning like the macro parasites, the ones that are larger, like tapeworms, rope worms, thread worms, flukes, all those, the ones that you can see, that you don't need a microscope, that you can see with your naked eye. And then there's other sort of parasitic organisms that are more on the micro level. That's fungus, that's bacteria, you know, that's viruses, all those things, they're considered part of like the parasitic family, right? So yeah, if you've been exposed to meat, or you're a regular human being living on this planet, chances are you have parasites. But you really only start to show parasite symptomology if you've been infested for a long time, or if you have a lot of parasite infestation inside of you. So for instance, take myself for example. Right before I actually got ill with fibromyalgia, this was many years ago, I went to a trip to the Dominican Republic. And over there, if you drink their water, you will get parasites. And you know, if you grab fruits from the trees, like the mangoes for instance, and you don't like really check them, you'll find parasites and worms in there all the time, right? So I guess wasn't like very you know, cautious back then when I went to the Dominican Republic this one summer. And I do remember overworking myself though, because I was like trying to get fit, trying to get healthy. I would like kind of run up and down the hill, up and down the mountain, and then I would go back home and I would drink the ice cold water that was like in the fountain in my house, you know, that my family would replace. But I don't even know if that was like good water or not. So I ended up getting really ill. And how I know that is because I went back home to the United States, back to New York, and my first bowel movement, I passed a huge parasite. It was like this big. It was like a huge worm, right? And it was dead. But it was around that time that I started getting very ill. And I didn't understand back then that the terrain in my body made it so that that parasite could survive and wreak havoc. And it was only after I came back home, came out of that like very stressful environment, you know, I was kind of dealing with like some body issues back then, and that's why I was like over exercising, over stressing myself. I had some like emotional issues going on, and so and also I was on vacation. I was, you know, pretty much like eating things that I didn't normally eat. So when I came back home, that parasite was released due to like that huge 180 lifestyle flip. But then I realized, wow, okay, now that I know about detoxification, it's really the terrain that harbors the parasites within you, that harbors the worms. Why are parasites there in the first place? Because you have so much mucus, you have so much acidosis, you have or are consuming foods that they thrive on, which for parasites and the big worms, it's usually meat and dairy products, and pretty much like eggs, any animal products like that, they love. They also love starches and processed foods. So like bread and gluten, they love that stuff. Crackers and cookies and cakes and ice cream and all those mucus forming, acidifying foods. That's what they love. That's what they thrive on. So if you take that out of the equation, if you stop feeding your body these acidic foods, then they'll starve away. They won't have anything else to consume. But the trouble is that when parasites stay inside of you and they start to rob you of the food that you're consuming, which essentially they are causing you malnutrition, you know? So some people have malabsorption because there's so much mucus encoding their small intestines that they're not able to absorb the nutrition from their foods. And some people can have parasites on top of that, causing even more of a malnutrition. But to answer your question, there's a lot of different symptoms when it comes to parasite infestation. And believe me, guys, when I tell you, a lot of our clients, once I put them on the parasite formulas like Parasite M for the fungus and the bacteria, and Parasite G for like the flukes, the ropeworms, the tapeworms, they see a lot of these parasites coming out, and even the parasite eggs. So the symptoms that they usually show, and you know, like some of these, this is why you need to always do a parasite kill right when you start your detox journey, because some of your symptoms might not only be lymphatic stagnation problems, or might not only be gland weaknesses, it might be as a result of having parasites. So that's why we get rid of the parasites within the first 2 months of your detox. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself, like, okay, am I experiencing these types of symptoms? People with parasitic infestation or parasites, they tend to have things like digestive issues, either constipation or diarrhea, IBS, Crohn's, you know, all those types of bowel diseases. They can have things like malabsorption diseases like anemia or nutritional deficiencies. So you got to ask yourself, okay, do I have that? They can have chronic fatigue issues, being depleted of energy. Parasites can cause that because of the former thing that I just described. You can have insomnia. Parasites can keep you up, keep you awake at night. What else? You can have emotional issues. This is what I see with a lot of people with parasites. They have emotional ups and downs. They're either very irritable or they tend to cry a lot, be like easy criers, be triggered very easily. They can get angry, they can snap very easily. And so you kind of want to control that. You kind of want to do that parasitic kill right from the beginning. And another thing that is a good sign of parasitic infestation is unhealthy cravings. So if you're someone that's craving meat, could be the parasites inside of you talking. They're gonna be talking, they're gonna be giving you those cravings, those unhealthy or emotional cravings, because they want to stay alive, they want to survive, right? So it could be cravings for meat. Although, you know, cravings for meat can also stem from having an adrenal weakness as well. You know, if you feel kind of fatigued during your detox and you crave like the steroids from the meat or the hormones from the meat to give you that boost of energy, then it can come from that. But you see how like the whole body is sort of connected here. But another thing is parasites in terms of like fungus can make you crave things like starchy foods like potatoes and rice and bread and pasta and things like that. So this is why it's very wise to just do a parasitic kill right from the get-go, right from the beginning of your detox, taking Parasite M and taking Parasite G. Okay, now I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But and lastly, another indication of parasitic infestation is skin issues. We see this all the time, especially with the fungus. Fungus, which is a type of parasite, can make you itch so much so that you're scratching. Your skin can become sore, it can become raw, and it's such a like my heart really goes out for those people, for our clients that come to us with those eczema and psoriasis and hives, all those types of issues. It can be pretty tough going through the detoxification process, but you want to kill those parasites right from the get-go. And I'm thinking about this one client that we have. I'm not going to mention his name, of course. He might be watching this video, but yeah, he's dealt with like a lot of skin issues for a while, but they've only gotten worse. Unfortunately, you know, he came to me like 3 years ago, and then he kind of just like explored different other avenues. That's kind of like sometimes what happens is people come into the detox and then they get excited, but then after like a few months they kind of fall off, and then they try other things, and then they end up coming back to detox because they try everything else out there and it didn't work. And then guess what? Then they realize detox is the answer. So you kind of have to like buckle up your boots and, you know, stick with it for the ride. There really is nothing else out there. But okay, so this client, a lot of skin issues. So much so that he has to like take a bath every single day and the flakes start to come off. He has to like slowly but surely scrape off the flakes of dead skin cells off of his body, and it hurts, you know. Even like salt baths hurt, water hurts, everything hurts his skin, and I feel so bad, you know. But we're gonna get him out of this. I can only help people. I can only help you guys if you listen to my advice and listen to my suggestions. When, you know, like if you're gonna work with me or my team, you guys need to listen to our suggestions, because you know, I'm all about like following your intuition too. Like really, it has to be a balance between working with your practitioner, working with your specialist, and you know, following their advice, because you know they do know best, but then also listening to your inner guidance system and having a healthy communication back and forth. So you know, the both of us like can reach a good middle ground of what is best for you, right? So yeah, but this guy, a lot of parasites. So much so that he said that he ended up having to take 1 or 2 full bottles of parasite capsules, parasite G capsules, which are very strong, a day. Because if he didn't, he had uncontrollable cravings for, you know, like all of the foods that he shouldn't be eating during his detox, right? Felt so bad. And we're gonna see if we're gonna work him out of that. But yeah, parasites can really mess up your life, can really mess up your body. So even if you don't think you have parasites, I always recommend take a parasite formula. Now, this is how I would do it. Parasite M takes care of the fungus. Good idea. It's a really good idea to start off with a Parasite M formula in the beginning of your detox, because it will help control cravings for unhealthy foods that can deter you from following a detoxification diet, right? So Parasite M is good for that, for the fungus. Parasite G is good for the big boys, for the big worms. And once you start to take these formulas, you may feel some detox symptoms. As the parasites start to die inside of you, you can feel kind of moody. You can feel kind of emotional. You can feel like a little bit of itchy skin. Shouldn't be anything too crazy though. These detox symptoms usually last for a few hours or maybe like a day or 2 max. And you can use detox tools to help combat that. And that's what I teach you guys in our consultations. But yeah, that's what you want to do. And look and check your stools. During your detox, you want to check your stools. So when you go to the toilet, have like a stick or like a chopstick by your toilet. And you know, if this sounds kind of gross to some of you guys, you know, it doesn't really matter, because this is like detox, you know, this is the human body, right? But get a stick and sift through your stools. Check to see if you've passed those parasites. Some people, they kind of like even cut their stools in half, and they're shocked to see that as they're detoxing with these herbs and following the raw diet, they see little threadworms inside their stools. or they see the passing of just like parasites floating on the toilet. And what I really like to see is once you start to see the parasite eggs passing out of you, that's really exciting, because it means that you're going to depopulate the parasites from your body, right? These eggs, they tend to look like kind of like crushed up peanuts. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know how else to describe it, but imagine if like you got like a bag of peanuts and you kind of took like you know, you kind of like put it like with a mortar and pestle, and you started doing that just a few times, then it's like little broken up pieces of peanuts, and they float up to the top of the toilet. Those are parasite eggs. Parasite eggs. So what you want to do is you want to kind of like recirculate with the parasitic formulas. I'd say like for the first 6 months of your detox. For the first 2 months, take them. Then for the 3rd month, stop taking them, or at least stop taking Parasite G. Then for the 4th and 5th month, take them again. Although you can stay on Parasite M consistently, Parasite G, you should do 2 months on, 1 month off, 2 months on, 1 month off. And then by 6 months, you should have all of them gone by then. You know, because you gotta do that cycle, because then the eggs will hatch. The eggs that you missed the first 2 months, they'll hatch, and then they'll also create more parasites. So, you know, this might be like a little bit of a touchy subject for some people, but parasites exist. You know, they exist in every single organism. The same thing as like bacteria and fungus and viruses. You know, most organisms in this kingdom we cannot see, so therefore we don't think about. But parasites kind of like make people a little squeamish because it's like stuff that you can see, right? But it's better to have that outside of you than inside of you. The negative effects of having that inside of you is parasites can rule your life. Parasites can travel all the way up into your brain and control your very life, and the way you think, and the way you act, the way you feel, and your ability to even use and utilize the nutrition from your foods. So if you have parasites, it won't even matter what you eat, because then you won't be able to use it as fuel and as a healing energy for your body. So that was a very good question. I'll say this much: the number 1 herbs, like number 1, number 2, that are beneficial for getting rid of parasites from the body will be black walnut hull and wormwood. Those are like the main ingredients in the Parasite M and Parasite G formulas. However, there's like clove and fennel and cat's claw and little herbs like that too, that create a synergistic blend that make it even more powerful. Take it up to the next step. You know, podarco bark, that's another good one. So yeah, that's what I recommend for you guys, is to take those parasite formulas. In terms of like tinctures or capsules, this is what I'll tell you. Parasite M is good in tincture form because you want something that's fast acting to control your cravings during detox, right? So liquid forms of tinctures are fast acting. The capsules, however, they take a little longer to work, but in the case of parasites that you may have intestinally in your large intestine or small intestine or your pancreas or your liver or anywhere like that, you would want to take it in capsule form, Parasite G in capsule form, because it has that effect of going through your digestive system with the powder, with the capsule, and then they can start to kill off the parasites, right? But if you're someone that doesn't like to swallow too many capsules, then you'll notice like in the herbal protocol that I write up for you, you might see it in liquid form, because, you know, if it's like, if I already have like capsules, like lymphatic capsules for you, or like the GI Renew capsules for you, then, you know, if you have like a few glandulars that are in capsules, then it's like too many capsules tend to add up, right? And then you would like stop taking the formulas, which is what we don't want. We want it to be like very easy. So liquid tends to be very easy for people to take, because you put it all in a liquid in a shot, and then you just take it, you know, with some juice, and that's it. But for capsules, you kind of have to swallow them. But if you don't mind swallowing capsules, Parasite G capsules are going to be stronger than Parasite G tincture form. So that's something to take a note of, okay? And I think that was it for your question, right? But yeah, I hope that answered your question. Thank you. I've been wanting to talk about parasites, and I might still write an article about it. So keep an eye out for that, guys. And like I said before in the other video, if you want to be up to date on the articles that I write and the articles that I come out, then sign up for our email list at www.spiritualhealing.com. I often write a few articles every month on like the most popular topics on detoxification that a lot of people have questions about, that a lot of people are wondering about. For instance, my last few articles have been on swollen lymph nodes, like what causes swelling of the lymph nodes. Another one on hair loss. That one was really good, on how to heal hair loss and balding, and you know, like hair thinness and all those issues. And then the other one was dealt with like the emotional aspect of detoxification and how to stay committed on detox, like on your detox journey. So yeah, check those out, and I'll leave a link to the website down in the description box down below. Okay, but yeah, so I hope you guys have been doing well on your detox. Let me know how your detox is going down in the comments. And yeah, I want you guys to know that I read all your comments, and I often have to take like an entire day after I post the videos to answer all your comments and all your messages and all your emails, because you guys like, and it's amazing because I love to you know, feel connected. Even someone like me, there's only a few people in my life, like family, friend wise, that understand or believe in detoxification. So I'm kind of like in that same boat with you, with a lot of you. You know, some people are lucky that their families are supportive of detoxification and of natural healing modalities, but unfortunately, you know, my well, my immediate family is pretty understanding, but not like the rest of my family. They still have a lot to go like through, you know, opening up their consciousness, being open to natural healing, and hopefully it won't be too late for a lot of them. But you know, I give my 2 cents here and there, but you know, over the years I've learned to kind of just not waste too much of my energy on people that don't appreciate it or don't want to hear it, right? So yeah, that's why I just love talking to all of you and answering your questions, answering your comments, and helping you out, because you know, I'm kind of like a giver. Like, to feel alive, I need to give. I need to be of service. I need to help people heal. Like, that's my #1 purpose in life. And it's like, oh, you know, if I try to help someone and they don't want the help, it's like, ooh, you know, my heart kind of feels rejected, right? But that's why I'm in the business of healing. That's why I founded Spiritual Healing, because like it just brings me so much joy helping all of you heal and get rid of all these dis-ease type symptoms and things like that, right? So I'll say this much. I've been really impressed with a lot of the success stories, or like not even full success stories, but like progress report updates, I would call them, like updates on some of my clients' healing journeys. Because we have this lady right here that she had her follow-up the other day, and she came to us with Raynaud's syndrome. That's a syndrome where you're like kind of like the tips of your fingers and your hands, they turn blue, purple, and you lack circulation. You can feel like a lot of numbness, and it can be kind of like a scary thing to experience. And your skin is just so sensitive to the cold. You have a hard time controlling your body temperature, and it can be kind of like sensitive, cold, and painful, and very like unsightly looking. But she's improved so much, because in her follow-up, she said that instead of it turning blue and purple, now it's pink. So it hasn't gone away completely, but it's only been like a month and a half or like 2 months since I last spoke to her. And to see that improvement is really exciting. And also her skin is like 100% clear. Her skin issues have improved so much, and her fatigue issues have improved a lot too. And yeah, you know, like with my advice on like taking the licorice root formula and taking the adrenal formula, her adrenals have been improving a lot. Her blood pressure is going up because she used to have low blood pressure. So good job, good job. And you know, like I wanted to say this though, so many of our clients, so many of you guys come to us from getting a disease or getting an illness or health issues after medical intervention. That I'd say maybe 50 to 70% of all of you come to us with a disease condition because medical doctors did something and caused it in your body. So for this lady, it was this sort of chronic illness condition developed in her body after she had toe surgery. So, with toe surgery, what does that tell you? Okay, now you're going in with a surgical knife, you're producing acidosis in the toes. She had a problem, not only in her fingers, but it was mainly her feet that she had the Raynaud syndrome, okay? So, acidosis created through a surgical knife, number one. Number two is the anesthesia that they administer during surgery. Anesthesia is a neurotoxin, can bring down the adrenal glands and nervous system, can actually cause the impairment of kidney filtration. So, just saying, you gotta watch out. Not all medical intervention is bad, but most of it is bad. Unless you are in dire need of emergency medicine, you probably should address the root cause of your health issues instead of treating it temporarily. So it goes like this. Even though addressing the root cause can take longer, you're kind of chipping away at it, it can take a few months to fully heal the root cause, the effects are long term. So it takes a while to fully heal a root cause, but after that you're fully healed. When you treat something, what happens? What happens when you treat something? It's a temporary solution, it's a fast solution, but the results last only temporarily too. For instance, with surgery, how many people have come to us with surgery after surgery after surgery on the same area, like the spine, for instance? How many herniated disc surgeries? It's compounded. And for people with parathyroid gland weaknesses, especially once they start to reach in their 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, we get people with multiple surgeries done to the spine, the knees, the joints, the toes, elbows, shoulders, neck, everywhere, due to the drawing of calcium out of the bones and the connective tissue. So, you may be in pain as a result of that, right? As a result of acidosis leaching all this calcium out of your spine or your joints or your bones or whatever, right? You may have bone spurs that you've developed because the calcification goes to the area that's most acidic in your body and it hardens it, right? But just surgically removing something like that, or tearing away at the connective tissue or tearing away at the nerve tissue, is only a temporary solution. You have not gotten rid of the acids in that area through surgery. You haven't. So that area is just going to continue to get worse, and then you're just going to end up back in the doctors again for another surgery, or back in the doctors again for another medication, right? Same thing goes for chemotherapy. There was a client that came to us not too long ago. She's 22 years old. 22 years old. Has lymphoma at 22. And what happened? 6 months before today, she had her last round of chemo. Today, back on chemo because the cancer returned. And if she hadn't found detoxification, because now she's going to be on a detox protocol, she would have gone through the chemo again and again until her whole body would have been fried up and she would have died. So, the long-term effects of chemo, there's always a residual kickback. You don't go through chemotherapy or radiation just I did this treatment, now my cancer's gone and I'm free. No. It's a highly acidic chemical compound, chemotherapy. It's like Drano. It kills all the cells of your body. Killing the cells of your body mutates the cells of your body. When those mutations start to replicate in your body, because they will, the cancer will come back again. So, again, that's a temporary solution. You need to think more long term, all right? So yeah. But I know some of you may be new to this channel. Sometimes I'm very passionate like this. I'm very serious. Other times I'm kind of like mellow, you know. I have a few different sides to myself depending on you know, what I've seen today or the day before. Certain things inspire me and I feel the need to talk about them with you guys, so you guys can learn too, so you guys can, you know, not take the wrong route and suffer. I want to stop the suffering where we can help it, right? So yeah, I'll address the next question, okay? So the next question is, I have a hard enlarged lymph node at the bottom of my skull on the right side, occipital. I've had an ultrasound done on it and they said it was a normal appearing lymph node, but no, it's not. I also struggle with constipation, thyroid, and adrenal issues. I am currently on day 3 of a grape fast and it's going well. Oh, that's good, that's good. I'm also taking lymphatic herbals, GI Raynaud, good, adrenals, liver, skin, and Parasite M and G. Okay, yeah, that's a good basic protocol that you have right there. I've been on Armour Thyroid for 9 years. I would like to get off of this eventually. Yeah, I've helped so many people get off of Armour Thyroid, or, you know, like any sort of like synthetic thyroid medication. We've helped people get off of those for sure. And you know, it doesn't take as long as you would normally think. In under a year, you know, I've had clients that have come off of their thyroid medications in like 2 months, so it's not that bad. What would you suggest for getting this lymph node down? I am concerned about it. Also for trying to taper off my medication, how to know when to do it safely, and anything I can take to boost it as I'm doing it. Thank you for your work you do, heart. Oh, thank you so much. I'll always help you guys. I love it. Love helping all of you. Okay, so let's start off with the beginning of this question. So the first part you said, I have a hard and large lymph node at the bottom of my skull on the right side occipital. So automatically you said the right side, so your right kidney is having trouble filtering. The right kidney controls the filtration of all the cells and all the tissues and all the organs and glands of the right side of your body, okay? So the occipital lymph node that you're speaking of is like right behind the ear, like behind the neck, above the hair shaft, right above the hairline. So around there. So you said that after the ultrasound was done, it was a normal appearing lymph node. That's what they told you, but you don't believe it is. I take it that it's probably pretty big then, or maybe hard or swollen. So you didn't say here, but I want to know, like, exactly how big is it? Is it hard? Is it movable? Like, does it hurt to the touch? You know, things like that. Because most of the time, the serious cases of lymph node swelling is if it's bigger than half an inch or an inch, that is a cause for concern. Normal size lymph nodes are usually about the size of a pea, so very, very small, and they're usually very movable. You know, like they move around when you kind of like touch it with your finger, right? So you need to see if it's hard. That's a cause for concern. If it's not movable, if it's kind of like stuck, or like hard and knotty and rubbery, that's a cause for concern. And if it's not painful at all. If it's not painful and it's hard, then it's progressed into a chronic lymph node situation, more of like the deterioration of the lymph node. If it's still a little painful to the touch, then it's more of an acute situation. So it's like, okay, just started, just beginning. So it could be a lot faster and a lot easier to heal in that situation. So these are the kind of questions that you want to ask yourself. But really, I would want to see your eyes, because in your eyes, in that right neck region or right cervical spine region, or around like the head, in the iris, it's like on the top left or right hand side, you'll be able to see the state of your lymph node. In the lymph node bed, I'd be able to see if it's very congested, if you have sulfur involvement, if it's subacute, acute, or chronic lymphatic stagnation that you have involved there, or if it's already kind of been like a chronic or degenerative lymph node where it's not much stagnation, but there's not much activity left in that lymph node. So yeah, you'd be able to see how serious the situation is through looking at your eyes. But this is something that you need to take care of. Swollen lymph nodes, you don't want them for a long period of time. The longer the lymph node stays swollen, the more you can picture, okay, that means acids are still chewing up all the tissue near that lymph node. Whatever that lymph node was supposed to take care of with its bacterial and macrophageal activity, breaking down the acids, sending it to through the lymph vessels into the kidneys, that's not working. If it's swelling, if it's extremely hard and petrified, not working. If it's still kind of like swollen but like painful and like tender, ooh, that means there's a huge battle going on in that lymph node. But you want to drain it. You want to drain it. If it stays hard, that means there's a blockage. If it stays swollen, there's a blockage, right? A good sign of like immune system function. If you do have a problem with swelling lymph nodes, it's okay to see them like go up and down during your detox. But if it stays the same size the whole time, there's a problem. If it stays the same size or getting worse, even if you're not detoxing, then that's a problem. So the ultimate way to heal this is to achieve kidney filtration. If you do not achieve kidney filtration, if you don't see, once you pee in a clear jar, that you see sediment or mucus in that urine, and enough so, but you don't have to see like half of the jar of filtration. Like I know a lot of you guys, you tell me, oh my god, my kidneys aren't filtering enough because I've been watching like videos and people's pictures of their kidney filtration, and it's like this much. Just so you guys know, that sort of kidney filtration, most of those people's pictures are as a result of like dry fasting for like 3, 4, 5 days, or as a result of like doing a lot of intermittent fasting. But that is not what you want in the beginning of your detox journey, because it's not sustainable. So all you'll get is filtration for like a few days, and then once you start to balance out with your raw foods and your fruits, your filtration will disappear. That's not true filtration. You need to turn on the filtration by addressing your gland, addressing the root cause. Where is it coming from? Your adrenals, your pituitary, your kidney, your hypothalamus gland, the stress in your life, what you're consuming. Are you consuming clogging foods, right? So all this is very important, okay? And for those of you new to detoxification, I have a kidney filtration article on my website, so you can read about what kidney filtration is and how to achieve it. All right, it's very, very important. It's the #1 channel of detoxification when you're doing detox seriously, right? But you want to take care of this, because what is the surrounding? Like, what's the surrounding tissue that this lymph node is responsible for? The right occipital lymph node. You have your jaw, you have your tongue, you have your mouth, you have your gums, right? You have your thyroid, you have your throat, you have your neck, you have your brain, you have just this, and even around here, even the chest. So what can that manifest itself into? Tongue cancer, throat cancer, thyroid cancer, gum cancer, cancer of the gums. It can manifest itself into a lot of different types of cancer situations. So you really need to get rid of this right now. So another part of your question, you said, okay, you are struggling with constipation, thyroid, and adrenal gland issues. Well, yeah, with constipation issues, we discussed this in the last video. Constipation can be a result of interstitial lymph that's dehydrating the bowel wall, that can make it very difficult to move stools, or it can be an adrenal weakness, which you already said you have. With poor neurotransmitter production, your nervous system is not going to have enough energy to go to the bathroom, to push these stools, neurologically speaking. So for people with constipation out there, you want to address your adrenals, and you want to fully hydrate the tissues of your colon by eating the fruits, by drinking the fruit juices, by increasing the number of raw foods that you consume, and cutting out the dehydrating, acidifying foods that are causing you this constipation, okay? But people with adrenal gland weaknesses and suffering from constipation, it can be a little difficult to navigate the detox without the herbs. This is where the herbs come in. The GI Renew formula that you said you're taking, that's good. If it's not enough for you, if you're not going to the bathroom like 3 to 4 times a day during your detox, you want to increase the number of the bowel formula that you're on. So like, let's say if you're on number 3 and you're only still going like 1 or 2 times a day during your detox, increase it to number 4 or number 5. Find where works best for you. For me, I came with a lot of severe constipation issues in the beginning of my detox journey, so I had to sometimes like go to like number 2 and then number 5 and number 3, number 4. Sometimes I had to take 1 capsule of 2 different formulas each to find the right medium for me, where I was going to the bathroom 3 or 4 times a day during my detox. So and you just work yourself out of that with the constipation issues. Okay, you said you have thyroid weaknesses because you've been on Armour Thyroid for 9 years. So yeah, we've had so many clients, so many lovely ladies that have been able to cut off their thyroid medications completely. Even I think our longest client had been on thyroid medications for like 25 or like 30 years, which is insane. You know, you think at that state like, wow, I'm taking a thyroid medication that my body, like my thyroid gland is supposed to be producing thyroid hormones for me. And when you take something synthetic, it tells your body that that gland should stop producing it altogether. That gland becomes lazier and lazier over time to the point to where it doesn't produce it at all. So to come off of that sort of thinking of that gland and restoring it fully is pretty impressive, but that's what detox does. So a few things that you want to ask yourself is, and this is very apparent if I look at your eyes. This is why a health assessment with an iridology reading, so like pretty much the components of the Master Your Health package, is so essential when it comes to healing yourself of any chronic illness or chronic disease, okay? I check, when I look at your eyes, I check, okay, do you have an actual thyroid weakness? Some people are taking thyroid medications and they don't have a thyroid weakness. That tells me, if I look at your eyes, if you have a pituitary gland weakness, but no thyroid weakness, then your pituitary is causing you your thyroid issues. And so taking thyroid medication is not going to help you, and it's actually harming your thyroid, and you're taking it for no reason, right? So I have to see. This is a case that I would want to see. What does your pituitary gland look like? What does your thyroid gland look like? Based on that information that I gain from your eyes, then I can give you more insight as to what your herbal protocol should look like. But I'll give you like the different scenarios, okay? So if you have a thyroid gland weakness as seen in your eyes, then how you come off of this is take a thyroid glandular. Replace your Armour Thyroid with a thyroid glandular. The glandulars that I recommend are from New Zealand. They are grass-fed. They are only for situations like this. If I see a gland is very genetically weak, and if I feel that it's not going to be enough to heal with a thyroid herbal formula or with an herbal formula, if it's going to take like 10 years for you to heal, then obviously I'm going to recommend a glandular. And this is purely based on if it's a genetic weakness or how deteriorated the gland is. So the glandulars help the glands or the corresponding organs remember how to function again from a genetic level, because it's like goes to like. And it just, you know, punches them awake. It's kind of like wake up, you know. It teaches them how to function again. And it's temporary, purely temporary. You take this thyroid glandular if you have a chronic thyroid weakness as seen in your eyes, okay? If you don't have this weakness, don't take it, which is why it's so important to know, you know, how to read the eyes and or to get an iridology reading, right? But only take it like that. Now, this is how you test it out. You're on this medication now, right? Start adding the thyroid glandular, then, you know, detox a little bit. After like a week or so, add 1 capsule of the thyroid glandular and see. These are the symptoms that tell you that you should cut down from your Armour Thyroid, and then you can feel safe and feel pretty assured to increase your thyroid glandular dosage. You need to check your heart rate. Okay, if your heart feels like it's beating out of your chest because the thyroid controls heart rate, then it means you're taking too much, okay? So instead of taking off the thyroid glandular. You don't want to do that. You want to lower the dosage of your Armour Thyroid while increasing the thyroid glandular all the way up until you're no longer taking the Armour Thyroid and you're only taking the thyroid glandular. And that's better because whereas the Armour Thyroid was degenerating your thyroid gland and making it useless, the thyroid glandular is helping your gland remember how to function again and not be reliant on it either, because you're going to come off of this thyroid glandular eventually, right? So I don't like to give this type of advice on a video, but this is like if it were me. So, okay, if it were me, if I was in this situation, this is the advice that I would give myself. This is the advice that I would take, okay? So this is not medical advice, okay? So if you're working with a doctor, tell them, be open, like, okay, I want to come off of my thyroid medication. I want to come off of my Armour Thyroid. Can you help me with that? If some doctors, they will not be happy about that and they won't help you, but some of them are a little more open-minded, and it's up to you whether or not you want to share that you're doing detox. I personally wouldn't. Like 99% of doctors will not understand detox. So just say, oh, I'm kind of like trying to come off of my thyroid medication. I've been eating a little healthier or whatever, and you don't have to share more than that. But then they'll be able to, like, okay, decrease your dosage time to time. But like I said, it's pretty easy to get off of thyroid medications. All of our clients have not had a hard time coming off of thyroid medications. So it just goes to show you how strong the herbs and the glandulars are helping you with that, right? So do that. And then another good test to see if like your thyroid is, if you're overdoing it with the medication, right, and you want to increase the glandular, is to check your basal temperature test. If you notice that you start showing symptoms of hyperthyroidism, like you're really jittery, or you're over sweating, or like I said, your heart rate is like going crazy, or you start to get like a huge migraine or something like that, or you can check like your basal temperature, do a basal temperature test where you put the basal thermometer right by your bed right before you go to sleep at night, and then when you wake up, put it underneath your armpit, check the temperature after after it like signals you for it to read it. And if it says 97.8 Fahrenheit through 98.2 Fahrenheit, then you're in a healthy range of basal temperature. But if it's lower than that, then you still need to do work on your thyroid, right? So if it's in healthy temperature range, then you could like, okay, cut off of the thyroid, of the Armour Thyroid, cut off, and then you can increase the thyroid glandular, okay? Now, there's like a lot more advice that I could give you, but do that. And then another good thing to couple your thyroid protocol is kelp. Kelp is fantastic at activating the thyroid, feeding it the nutrition that it needs, feeding it the iodine that it needs in order to function properly. So I would also supplement with kelp. Like 1 capsule a day should be good enough. Don't overdo the kelp though. You only want to take like 1 capsule a day, right? And let me see what else. Oh yeah, now if I look at your eyes and I see a pituitary gland weakness, we're going after that pituitary. If we see both, if we see thyroid and pituitary, we're going after both. If I only see the pituitary weakness, we're only going after the pituitary gland, right? So depending on if it's a genetic weakness or not, how bad it is, I'd give you a pituitary glandular or a pituitary herbal formula. But keep in mind, if you see a lot of congestion, a lot of stagnation, if I see a lot of stagnation in any of these areas in your eyes, I'm going to be a little wary of giving you something that's going to promote more activity of the cell. I'm not going to do that unless it's a dire need, or unless you're draining out lymph and cleaning out lymph at the same time, right? Because you don't want to give yourself like a glandular for a certain gland or organ if you see it's like, whoa, like you have like lymph node swelling in that area as seen in your eyes, because then it's going to promote more activity, and then you might walk away with like having a tumor, okay? So you want to kind of clean your body out first. I'd say better on the safe side, if you want to work with me and my team, then we can guarantee that that's not going to happen, because I have a lot of experience and I'm always on the cautious side, right? So you want to essentially clean your body out first, the first few weeks, go on herbs for the first few weeks and the raw food diet. And then after you've seen more kidney filtration and you've gotten rid of some mucus and decongested everything out, then you can go on the thyroid glandular or pituitary glandular or whichever one you need, okay? Okay, so let's see what else you asked here. Okay, so you said you're taking lymphatic herbals and you're also currently on a day 3 of a grape fast. That's fantastic. Grapes are very good at decongesting the lymph nodes, so really great. You know, I would add to that some lemon juice. You know, you can either drink straight lemon juice with water, well, you know, dilute it with water. So I'd say, like, let's say if you have this, right? Let's say if you have this whole mason jar full of water, okay, full of spring or reverse osmosis water. You'll want to take lemons. I'd say maybe like 2 lemons here is a good thing. 3 lemons, if you can handle it. You shouldn't need more than like anywhere from 2 to 4 lemons. And drink that. That's fantastic at pulling and draining the lymph system and the lymph nodes. So you've been doing that, you're taking lymphatic herbals, which is fantastic. And that's something else that I haven't addressed yet, is cleaning the colon is so great at decongesting the head area, even lymphatically. So it's very good that you've been taking the lymphatic herbals. Slowly incorporate, more of the lymphatic capsule. You can increase it to lymphatic 1, lymphatic 2, lymphatic 3, being a little tougher, a little more astringent as you progress in your detox, which is great. And then you'll notice those lymph nodes going down with the swelling there. And you also said you're taking GI Renew, great. Adrenals, great. Liver, skin, great. You always want to detox the liver of any sort of like chemical toxicity. Parasite M&G, that's good for fungus and parasites. And yeah, I would really just look at your eyes and see if you need a thyroid or pituitary glandular. But then, you know, at the same time, like I said, since you are experiencing this lymph node swelling, I would really just focus on decongesting your body. Decongest your body before trying to promote too much activity of your glands, because it already is indication that you're all backed up from here, from head to toe, because you have that lymph node swelling, okay? So you always want to go after your lymphatic system first and foremost before, you know, promoting too much activity in areas that might be too congested, right? So do the lymphatic work first, and then you can do like the glandulars after a few weeks or something like that. And you also said, okay, yeah, that's good. So I told you how to taper off the medications. I'll make more suggestions on how to get this lymph node swelling down now. So, like I said before, you want to take the lymphatic formulas, take kidney, take adrenal, you know, that's standard. You're already doing that. If you have a kidney weakness, since you have a lymph node swelling situation, I would recommend 2 kidney formulas. You could do kidney 1, kidney 2, or kidney number 3, kidney number 4, those 2 combinations. Right there, you have the diuretic and then you have the kidney cleanser. So those 2 are really good in an herbal formula. Or you can take a kidney glandular if you have chronic genetic kidney weakness. Again, I'd have to see your eyes. You could take an adrenal formula or adrenal glandular if that's preventing kidney filtration. Essentially anything that is preventing kidney filtration, you must address. Your lymph nodes and your lymph system, they're not going to get cleaned out and drained without the kidney filtration. With the colon, you can improve a lot. Through sweating through the skin, you can improve a lot in removing acids, but essentially kidney filtration is a must eventually, you know. And you know what I would add here? I would take lymphatic capsule for the bowels, lymphatic tincture for the lymph vessels, and the lymph node formula to see if you can drain that lymph node. Another really good formula is the immune support formula. Since you're experiencing all that swelling, the immune support formula can help support the different lymphocytes, different macrophages, the bacterial activity in your lymph nodes to start to drain this lymph node swelling. And let's see what else. Something else that you can do as well is massage, but only if your kidneys are filtering. Start to massage. You can do the neurolymphatic massage points. So I have an article on my website on how to do the neurolymphatic massage points, and you actually start there at the base of the head, working the neurolymphatic massage points clockwise. So going to the right and going down. That's going to promote proper nerve flow throughout the body to heal tissue, as well as sending that lymph node drainage down the spine to the kidneys to be filtered out. So that's a very good recommendation from myself. And then you want to also focus on topical applications to the lymph nodes. So number one, castor oil. You can start to massage this castor oil on your lymph nodes on the back of your head, or you can choose to do a castor oil pack, which means you can get like a cotton or a wool cloth. You drench it in castor oil, hexane-free cold pressed castor oil, organic if you can find it. I think Star West Botanicals makes a good one, Home Aid or Home Health, something like that. Some company like that also makes a good one. You can find that in pretty much anywhere, Whole Foods, Walmart, Target. You can find it in their beauty section oftentimes. Use that, and then do this. Put it on that there. It might be kind of messy with your hair, but you know, for the sake of detox, we can kind of, sometimes we have to be a little messy, right? So put it on in the back of your head, and then put on like a plastic or like a cellophane to keep it in place. And maybe it's best that you do this like at nighttime, like at bedtime, because then you're going to be just like laying down like that with the castor oil pack. Put a towel to protect your pillow and your bed sheets, because castor oil is very messy. And then after that, you can put like a wet form of heat to allow it to go in, to seep in through the skin into the lymph nodes. So you want to keep that area heated with a wet form of heat, so like a hot water bottle. A heating pad's not going to work as well, so don't do it. Do it like a hot water bottle. And of course, you know, watch out that you don't burn yourself, obviously. And then just like put like a towel around that and secure it and leave it there. Do that for a few nights. See if the castor oil works for you. If you want to try different things throughout the day, these essential oils are really good at helping the macrophagal and bacterial activity within the immune system. There are antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, these essential oils, and also help to pull on the lymph system because of the astringency. So these are the essential oils. Eucalyptus is really good, rosemary, lemon, orange, peppermint. Those are fantastic oils that you can use on there. Even frankincense, although frankincense is very, very strong, you have to dilute it with the carrier oil. Most of these oils you should dilute with the carrier oil. So you can like dilute it with like some coconut oil or some castor oil, or you know, any sort of oil, olive oil, anything like that. Oils really help to break up hardened lymph, so they're very beneficial at applying on swollen lymph nodes, or even like tumors, or like any sort of hardened, knotty lymphatic mass is very good. Another thing, like now that we talk about you know, desolidifying or dissolving hardened masses, something else that I'd add to your herbal protocol would be the 3-lung tincture and or the 3-lung tea, because those 3 herbs in that formula are fantastic at breaking up solidified masses, and this has been scientifically proven too. So the mullein leaf, the fenugreek seed, and the pleurisy root in those formulas are fantastic for dissolving lymph node swelling and lymphatic masses. So add that. Alternatively, you can also breathe it in through like an herbal inhalant. So something else that's really good is hot and cold, hot and cold. Do hot and cold compress or hot and cold showers that hit the back of your head. So every time you shower, you can do a minute hot and a minute cold, a minute hot and a minute cold. However, be wary, because this back of the head area is your cerebellum. So if you're like tugging and pulling on the lymphatic system and the lymphatic pressure in that area too much, then you can feel kind of like dizzy or like vertigo or unbalanced. So just be careful that you don't experience that detox symptom too fast or too frequently, okay? But you see how like the draining of that pressure and of the lymphatic system, it can kind of have you you know, you kind of have to be a little careful, especially if you're doing like a job, or you're like a driver, or if you're like in construction, or you know, if you're doing like physical activity like that, then you have to kind of be careful when you're detoxing. And that's why it's always best to be like in a relaxed state when you're detoxing. That way you can lie down if you do experience detoxification symptoms. And Likewise, I would also kind of like just focus on moving your lymphatic system with gentle exercise. Same thing goes for like the massage. You really want to incorporate the manipulation or movement of the lymphatic system once you've achieved kidney filtration, because if you do it too much, then the kidneys are going to back up and you're actually going to experience more symptoms of lymphatic problems. You know, things can get bigger, things can swell up because you're not eliminating the acids. They're kind of just recirculating, you know, being dug up from deep within the tissue and then causing even more harmful effects in the tissues of your body. So you want to detox intelligently, right? And now, lastly, I want to say that, oh, let me take sip of my watermelon juice first. If it seems like I'm going fast, guys, it's because I have so much casework to do, and also I still need to walk my dog and it's like getting dark and late outside, so she's probably waiting on me. But yeah, your question is very good. Now I do want to say this. There is like a certain component of physical disease type symptoms that can stem from emotional blockages or mental blockages. So since you seem to be having so many issues with the back of your head, right, near the neck region, and also the thyroid region and just up here, then I would ask myself, if I were you, okay, am I experiencing symptoms of having like a throat chakra imbalance, right? Either the chakra's too open or it's underactive, not activated enough. And for those of you that don't know what chakras are, they're pretty much energy centers of your body. I'm pretty sure most of you guys do know what chakras are, but for those that don't know, they're energy centers of the body that that involve prana or chi, you know. Pretty much these are like terms used by kind of like spiritual circles that describe the energy vortex. So there's 7 that go from the root chakra, from the tailbone, all the way up to the crown chakra, which is the head, or all the way up here. So the one that I'm describing is the throat chakra, and that chakra is the center for truth and communication. So you have to ask yourself, are you being true to yourself? Are you communicating your needs clearly? Are you being honest with yourself? Are there people within your circle, like your families or friends, that you feel don't accept the real you 100%? Are you denying yourself the ability to speak up when you need to speak up? Are you like denying yourself the ability to be weird and be yourself, you know, like express yourself freely, sharing your truth, realizing your truth? Because the throat chakra and this energy center is all about like inspiration. Like, okay, you're inspired, you hear something, it resonates with you, you love it, you share it. It becomes a part of you, it becomes a part of your belief system, and you embody that and you share it, right? That's what the throat chakra is all about. If that part of you becomes numbed over time or shut down, or you deny yourself from expressing and acting on your full truth, then energetically the corresponding glands and organs that surround that throat chakra, that are responsible for that throat chakra, will start to go down as well. Because everything is energy, guys. Even the raw foods, the fruits, the herbs, all of these work on an energetic level. And did you guys know that the cell, each cell in your body, is 99% empty space? 99.99999% empty space. Because when you go all the way to the level of the protons and the electrons and all the space from like the cellular wall, all of that is all empty space. All that is empty space. But then how come everything seems so solid, right? And there's been studies where thought being as energy, can manipulate other things, other objects. So for instance, like there was a study with plants where they took a plant on one side of the world, and then they took the same, like kind of like the the part of that plant, or like the brother, what have you, or sister, what have you, and put it on the other side of the world. And right before they were about to injure that plant, like I think the study was going to go at the plant with like a knife or like a pair of scissors or something, the molecularly that plant, the other plant, started to exhibit like pain or reactions, or I don't remember exactly, but something started to happen to where everything is connected. And you can kind of see this especially with like the phenomenon where with mothers, after they give birth to their child, and like let's say that child grows up and like let's say something bad happens to their child, to their son or their daughter, mother's intuition can feel that. As a mom, you can feel your son or daughter's pain, even like right when it's happening or right afterwards or even before. You're that connected. What explains that, right? Everything is energy. And same thing goes for, okay, kind of like manifestation, right? Or the law of attraction. All that is energy, right? So you want to balance this energy center by speaking your truth, by being more creative, by journaling. I would recommend journal your truth out. You also have to find out if there is like a past trauma that is inhibiting you from expressing your full truth and expressing your authentic self. Because if there is, then you have to go in and address any past traumas and heal them and process them, all right? And so that's like a subject for a whole other video, but I kind of went into it in my last article on how to stay committed on your detox journey. So you can go to my website and read a little bit about how to heal traumas with there and the resources there. But the detox journey is very much an emotional and mental and spiritual journey as well. You can't only heal the body by addressing the physical. You also have to address the mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies as well. If you find that there is something in your life that is preventing you from speaking up, like let's say if there are people in your life that constantly put you down, that don't believe in what you say, that don't respect you, then you have to cut them out, detox them out of your life as much as you possibly can. And another thing is that you need to take control of your mind. If you're constantly thinking negative thoughts, or if you're constantly doubtful or fearful, then your throat, your thyroid, everything in conjunction with that area is going to go down. So for the throat chakra, the thyroid gland, the pituitary gland, the lymphatic system is associated with that. The throat chakra is very much about purity, purifying your body, purifying your palace, your temple, okay? So stagnation is what causes physical disease, right? Emotional stagnation, physical stagnation causes disease of the mental, emotional, and physical planes. So the more you address your lymph system, you'll find it's kind of like which one came first, the chicken or the egg. You clean the physical, the emotional and mental and spiritual follow suit and start to heal. And then if you make changes to your thought process, to your mental and emotional, then you also start to heal physically and start to make physical changes in your life by eating healthier. So it's like, which one came first, the chicken or the egg, right? But oftentimes, people that are not open to like mental, emotional, spiritual healing, it's better for them to start off physically cleaning their bodies, because once you get rid of the physical debris from the mind and from the brain, and you gain more mental clarity, then you become more open to new ways of thinking. So I find it to be so fascinating, but it can also be like, wow, like, whoa. Okay guys, so I'll leave it at that. I thought I was gonna have more time to answer another question, but it'll just give me the opportunity to turn on the camera again to get to your questions on the next time. So yeah, and I actually do have to empty out my camera because it's getting pretty full. Yeah, it's because I've been recording so many videos for you guys that I have to now empty it out and like compartmentalize all of it onto another like exterior drive, okay? But yeah, thank you guys for spending this time with me and learning about detoxification and healing yourselves. And I want to say, if any of you guys out there have a serious health condition and you kind of don't know what to do with your detox journey, then I urge you guys to work with me and my team. Let us help you, so that we can work together one one-on-one to get to the root cause of your health issues and to build a truly powerful healing plan for you in terms of what diet to follow, the herbs, the detox tools, the fasting regimen, and all those different things. And we can really truly see the root cause of everything by reading your eyes and by analyzing your case and your health history. Everything comes together. We will be able to piece all these puzzle pieces together to create the perfect healing protocol for you. And I just truly believe in detoxification so much to the very core of my being that I know it can help you. I know it can help every single one of you out there. If you've been searching for answers, if you've been trying out so many different things that haven't been working for you, and you're still in pain and suffering, and you know in your heart, you know in your being that you can do better, that life can be better for you, that you don't have to stay stuck in this situation, then detoxification is for you and you're ready for it, okay? So yeah, if any of you guys would like to work with me one-on-one, you can go to our website at www.spiritopicalhealing.com. There in the services tab, you'll find the Master Your Health package. That's the package that I recommend because it brings everything that you need to get started. The iris analysis, a consultation, one-on-one, an herbal protocol, diet plan, detox tools, and PDFs on detoxification to learn a lot. And you know, if you want more support, we have also VIP options as well. VIP for the month, 2 months, 4 months, and so on. That gives you even more support. And we also have a third option of just having like an iridology analysis or an iridology analysis and herbal protocol. For those of you that are a little more like, you kind of like know about detoxification already and you don't need all the extra help, then we have that as well. But I do urge, you know, like sometimes people think that they know everything, but there's so much to be said like about like pretty much we know a lot about detoxification here. We've been doing this for like over a decade now. I've been doing this for over a decade now. So you can find like a lot more information and gain a lot more benefit from the Master Your Health package and actually talking to me one-on-one or talking to our team one-on-one and getting more of the support on your detox journey, okay? So yeah, guys, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and all of the services and all of the information and links that I've mentioned throughout this video will be in the description box down below, so you can check it out there. And yeah, and like I said before in the other video, leave this a like so that more people can find out about detoxification. The YouTube algorithm has really been like trying to bring your channel down, I would want to say, ever since I started talking about the vaccinations in the last 2 videos. So leaving a like really helps the video boost in the algorithm so more people can see it, and also sharing this with families or friends or anyone that you feel like needs to hear this information also helps a lot. So I want to thank you guys so much, and keep your questions coming. Write them down in the comment section down below and I'll read all of them and get to all your questions in all the future videos, okay? So I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.